Hi, and welcome back to Books Love Jenna, as in those books they just love her. I'm Jenna, and here are my admirers. We have got to invite you to come to our Books Love Everyone book group in the month of August, because we are reading about one very interesting woman who you may or may not already know about. We have two non-fiction works, but one reads like fiction. So we have two non-fiction works to choose from this month. We, the core group of us, we have been reading both books every month. But when I started this a year ago, I really wanted you to be able to choose whether or not you wanted to read the fiction or the nonfiction choice. But we have two nonfiction choices. So you can choose to read the nonfiction or you can choose to read the nonfiction, whichever one works for you. You can also choose to read them both, which is what the regulars do. If you are interested in reading about Dorothy Wordsworth, we are going to read her own words, her own voice from the late 1700s and from the early 1800s. In the Grassmere and the Alfoxden journals. And in this, she's talking directly to us. Really, she's writing to her brother, William, who enjoys reading her journal and her accounts of the day, and seeing the world through her eyes, hearing language through her ear. She is writing to William, really, but she's also just kind of recording the mundanity of the day. And the mundanity of the day, because it is not our day, is actually so interesting. I highly recommend this. Even if you're not going to join us for book group, I highly recommend you familiarize yourself with Dorothy Wordsworth. But we are also going to read this biography. Now, I have been thinking that this is a fictionalized account of her life, but it's actually not. It is a biography. I haven't read this before. Simple mistake to make. There are quite a few other more recent biographies out there that I have read that I've really enjoyed. I'm curious to see the take that this one has on her life. I'm not going to read you what it says on the flap, and I don't suggest you read it either because it pretty much details her entire life. So if you want there to be an element of surprise, don't read that. But I will tell you this. She never married. She devoted her whole life to taking care of her brother, and even after he got married. And she is an incredibly strong, powerful, influential woman who deals with a lot of chronic illness and heartbreak and curiosity and wonder. She's got a really big mind. She's got a really big heart. She's got a really solid sense of what she believes is right and wrong for the world. Like so many of the romantics. I mean, the world we live in today was created by this group of people. The way that we see ourselves, our relation to each other, our identity as citizens, our identity as members of a global unit, the way that we lean into nostalgia, the way that we live our lives is based almost entirely on the worldview that the Romantics were weaving at the time. And she's right there in the midst of that. She's a very distinctive voice that we haven't read a lot about. She is, maybe to look for a comparison, which may or may not mean anything to you, she's the Margaret Fuller of the Romantic movement. Margaret Fuller is the Dorothy Wordsworth of the Transcendentalist movement. Although I would argue that Dorothy is a lot more likable than Margaret Fuller ever was. But maybe we'll read about Margaret Fuller next year. She's fun. But Dorothy. Dorothy is the word for August. If you would like to join us in reading either of those books, all you have to do is read them. And then, and if you want to talk to me about them, I have a lot of conversations with individuals in Instagram, in direct messaging in Instagram. I also interact on comments on YouTube videos if you are interested in that. Or we have a Discord, which I will not lie, I very rarely go on. Really don't like Discord. But we do have one. The other regulars in the group are very active on there in comparison to me. If you want to talk to me, really direct messaging and Instagram is probably the way to go. But we also have a Zoom. We also have a Zoom meeting, and it is on usually the last Saturday of the month or the first Saturday of the following month, depending on which gives us about 4 weeks to read the 2 books. We meet and we talk about the books in person, and it's really, really wonderful. It's really wonderful. So if you would like to join us, please do. You don't have to commit. You don't have to have come to any of the discussions previous, and you don't have to commit to coming to any of the discussions following. But I think once you come to one, you might want to come to more. We're lovely people. She said creepily, not creepily. Anyway, if you would like to join us, please do. All you gotta do is read one or both of the books. Your choice. And in the meantime, let's go read.